Alright, mighty fourth graders, today we're going to talk about multi-digit subtraction. As you can see, I've got two numbers that have made it all the way to the thousands place. We're looking at that here. So these are bigger numbers, a lot bigger than maybe you've seen in previous school years. But we're going to tackle this one together. So let's start off by going into our ones place. I always like starting on the far right. And if I look at that, my 5 is larger than my 2. So that's a pretty easy one to subtract. So I'm going to do 5 minus 2. I know that if I do so, that brings me down to 3. Okay. Now if I look at the tens place, though, we can already notice that there's something going on here. That 1 on top is much smaller than the 4 on the bottom. So, to be able to remedy this problem, I have to go to my next place value. I'm going to look at the hundreds place. I can see I have a nice little 7 here, so I'm going to take away from that 7. I'm going to break it apart. It's no longer going to be 7. It's now going to be 6. So in my hundreds place, I now have 600 versus 700. I take that 6 on over here. I add that 100 to my 10, so now I have 11. 11 is something that I can subtract when I have 11 and 4. So by subtracting 11 and 4, I know my answer is 7. Now if I go once again to my next place value, I'm going to the hundreds place once again. I'm going to come up and around. Because I had to take away one of my hundreds, I now have a 6 on top and a 7 on the bottom. That means this guy is too small. So, once again, I've got to remedy my problem by going next door. I go to my thousands place. Here, I can tell already that my 8 is larger than my 6, so I'll have no problem taking from him, making him a 7, carrying that number over, making him a 16. What I did by doing that is I took one of my thousands, I put my thousands into my hundreds, so now I have 16 at the top. If I subtract 16 from 7, I know with my math facts, that's going to give me, I'll make my color a little darker here, it's going to give me 9. Now, at the very end, I have one last step. I've got to go here to my thousands place. I've got a 7 and I've got a 6. If I subtract my 7 and my 6, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, I got a 1. So in this case, I was able to subtract two multi-digit numbers by taking from, or as we call, breaking apart or ungrouping, the next place value to give to the smaller place value. So as you can see, there was a lot of work that had to go in up here just to make it possible. I know you can do it. Let's get to work today.